Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, shooting you another video. I'm also known as My Injury Guy. And the topic for today's video is how do I add value to my personal injury case? So I was talking to one of my clients who had an injury, good liability, meaning it was the other guy's fault very clearly. But there are some issues with the injury, the medical treatment, and all that kind of stuff. So um, here's the deal. The guy had surgery, but it was a very minor surgery, and there wasn't really very much treatment after the minor surgery. The treatment was spotty. There was I think it was like 3 or 4 sessions of physical therapy after the surgery. No complaints of any pain, disability, or any other medical problems at all related to the accident. So that's sort of what happened. And I'll explain to you what I explained to this person, which is what drives value in these injury cases is how serious and permanent the injury is. And so my client was like, well, wait a minute, I had surgery. If I had surgery, this should be a much bigger case. This should be a 6-figure case. And I explained to him, I said, look, we can't go to war without any bullets in our gun. We can't bring our cannon to the battlefield if we don't have any gunpowder or cannonball or any cannonballs to load into the cannon, right? I mean, you can bring it to the field to intimidate your opponent, but it doesn't mean that you're actually have the evidence necessary to prove that the case has the seriousness to be a 6-figure case or higher. And while you did have surgery, your discharge notes, your physical therapy notes, all of those notes indicate that you were pretty much back to normal and you stopped treating some time ago. You haven't been back to a doctor to complain. And of course, he told me, and I believe him, he's like, well, I didn't want the case to drag on, so I stopped going to the doctor, even though, my hand and my shoulder, the part that they operated on, I still have a lot of pain and a lot of problems. So I naturally asked, like, well, have you been to a doctor? Have you told your family doctor? Is any doctor, the surgeon, the family doctor, is anyone prescribing you like a medical device to help with the pain, or prescribing you pain medicine or anti-inflammatories or anything like that? My point is, in order to add value to a case, in order to have a bigger case, your medical records and what the doctors say is critically important. And doctors have a million patients, so that's why they have a medical chart. That's why they write everything down. And if your medical chart doesn't show that you're having serious, permanent, ongoing problems, it's likely that the defense attorney will take your doctor's deposition, and your doctor is just going to say what's in the chart. The defense attorney will ask your doctor, well, Dr. So-and-so, isn't it true that Mr. So-and-so at the end of treatment said he felt very good? Yes. Isn't it true that he said he didn't mention to you that he had any reduced range of motion? Is that true? If it's not in the chart, the doctor will say it's true. You'd expect a patient after a surgery like this who is having pain and dysfunction and lack of range of motion. These are the sorts of complaints you'd expect to get if a patient was experiencing them. Isn't that true? Yes, I would expect them to tell me. And at your last visit with this gentleman, he didn't tell you any of those things. He didn't tell you he was in pain. True. He didn't tell you he had a bad range of motion. True. He didn't tell you he was having problems doing work. True. So basically what I told this guy is, right now the case has value and we've got a good offer on it. But if you are serious about adding value to the case, we need to get you in and be evaluated. So there's something that is used mainly in comp cases, but you can do it in third-party cases too. It's called a functional capacity evaluation. So if you really do have a serious deficit in and pain on motion and loss of range of motion, and all kinds of problems, you can do a functional capacity evaluation where you're evaluated by a professional who then can tell us, I'm a trained professional to examine people. There are built-in tests here to tell whether they're faking or exaggerating. According to the tests, this person is not faking or exaggerating, and they have, 30% loss of use of the right arm due to shoulder. That's the kind of thing that really adds value. My point is, I guess, the Reader's Digest, reading between the lines, is we need something more than your complaints of pain. We need a treating doctor who is on board and is familiar with and has documented your strength deficits, your pain, your inability to do things normally, all the problems you're having. And if it's not documented in your medical records, we've got to get you into an expert or back to your surgeon, if your surgeon is reasonable, so that this stuff can be documented and the doctor will testify to it if the case goes to trial. The difference between a case where a doctor says, I did a minor surgery on this guy, he's back to normal, his last visit was 0 or like 1 out of 10 pain, there's no complaints of dysfunction, weakness, range of motion problems at all, he never returned back to ask me about needing any additional help. That's one situation. Let's take the same situation and the surgeon does a minor surgery on someone and the person is still complaining of very, very, very severe pain and problems. And then the surgeon says, I've done the only surgery you can do for this. It improved his pain, it improved his range of motion. But in my opinion, now that we've done everything we can do, his problems are permanent, in my opinion, because there's just nothing else to do. We gave him all the therapy we could. We did all the other stuff that we could do, but it's just one of those injuries that just didn't completely heal. So, that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference in a case as far as like the value of the case. So anyway, you gotta have an expert medical opinion, whether it's a retained expert that we go out to examine you and give us an opinion on your level of disability, or whether it comes from your treating surgeon and your physical therapist. Wherever it comes from, we need that to support a claim that you have a serious permanent injury that's going to result in a 6-figure settlement or verdict. So anyway, hope that info helps you. Please stay tuned till the end of the video. I have some killer tools and information for injured people that is 100% free for you to use. Share with your friends, whatever you need to do. So check it out and have a great day. Take care.
Thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer, or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.
312-500-4500. If you got hurt, you gotta give 'em a try.